Okay, I want to do a video on kind of as a disclaimer, and I hope everybody watches this, and certainly certain people, when they make comments, I'll probably refer to this disclaimer. And I want to explain that when it comes to talking about the other side, and most of what I talk about is outside time space, because there are plenty of people that are talking about 4D stuff, lots of channelers and spirit people, and a lot of religions and all of that stuff. So I'm going to leave that to them, because I'm just not interested. I certainly will answer specific questions if you've got them about 4D, especially if you're interested in either staying or moving through, so I can give you some advice regarding 4D, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it except in those areas or from that perspective, because there's just so many people doing it and I just don't see the point. So I'm going to be describing and working on and talking to y'all about 5D, and I've done that a lot in my videos, saying nothing's wrong with 4D, nothing's wrong with 3D, nothing's wrong with any of the Ds that you guys want to call dimensions or densities or whatever you want to call them. They're all good. They're all wonderful. And they all are appropriate, and they're all great fun depending upon what your interests are. So I'm not saying, as I've said many times before, I'm not saying 5D is a better way to go. As far as I'm concerned, we're all in Kansas, and you get to go whatever direction you want to go. I'm going to 5D. Say I'm going to Alaska. But if you want to go to the center of the earth or up to a spaceship, whatever, you want to go to Florida, Peru, Argentina, Australia, Middle East, wherever, any of those places, but you're going to have a different map, and you're going to have different there are going to be better people that are going to tell you about that. Not that I couldn't focus and give you a route, it's just there's other people that will do that, so I don't need to do that, I don't think. So when I'm talking about 4D paradigms that are in time space, even though it starts to really in 4D, you start figuring out how to play in time space better. You can control it better. It's still a time space dimension. When you get into 5D, there is no time space. When you get into 5D proper, when you make the full transition, and it's gradual, as I said, going over, when you get there proper, there is no time space. So when I'm talking about now time, to people who are in time-space illusion, that becomes very tricky, very tricky. I've got to use terms like up, down, in, out, good, bad, just because it's the only words that I can use here, because you don't comprehend now time. And let me give you an analogy of that. Let's say that you have only ever in your entire life had an apple. It's all the fruit you've ever had. Now I'm going to describe to you what an orange is. The only way that I can describe an orange is based on your facts, your understanding of an apple. It's the only thing I can do. So that's what I do. Now, humans have this really cool saying that says it's like comparing apples with oranges, which means you can't compare them. They're so different that you can't even compare them, and to try is silly, okay? But that's what I'm trying to do, so I guess I'm being silly. Because now time is so different than time-space illusion that it becomes extremely difficult to explain that to you. So I've used things like timelines. Well, is there really individual timelines? No, there's not. But if I told you there was an infinite wave of possibilities, your mind would go, what? So I don't do that. So I have you step through timeline, because you are so in time-space every moment of every day that it becomes almost impossible for you to go into the now. Now, you can meditate You can stop and center and you can be in the now. But you're still going to have to walk to the kitchen to eat. You're going to have to eat. You're going to have to breathe. You're going to have to go to work. You're going to have to wake up your kids. You're going to have to look around. You're going to have to watch my video. All of that is time-space illusion. So people go, oh, well, just get in the now, get in the now. Like that's an easy thing. It's not an easy thing unless you are capable or have the wherewithal and the money to just sit in your house and meditate and focus 24/7. Because otherwise, every single thing you do, just doing the stuff you do, is a time-space illusion. So, given the fact that you are just coming out of really, really slow, dense time-space illusion, I'm going to try to walk you through 4D, speed it up, and step you into now. That is my goal. That is my goal. And if it works, then fantastic. I love having y'all with me. It's a great ride. If it doesn't, hopefully something that I said in these videos will make sense. But in reality, when I'm talking about the other side, now time, all-knowingness, and unity consciousness, when I talk about them from the perspective of time-space illusion, there will be things that I say that are absolutely not true on the other side, but it's the only words that I know to use to describe the other side. So I will say things like good, bad, up, down, in, out, because you don't have any other words to use. I use timelines because it's the only thing I can come up with. If there's somebody that does that's got a better way of explaining 5D and now time outside of the time-space illusion, well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I think you should listen to them. I am doing the best I can with the words I have. And for me, it's like trying to explain something that has infinite words with 100 words. So it's very, 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 very tricky. But as long as you guys want me to, and as long as you're listening, and as long as you're asking me questions, I will continue to do the videos, and I will write my book. Now, I'm going to pause right here, and let's do a book little statement here. When you're connected like I am, and I can access the all-knowingness, that's a lot of data, okay? There are books, there are college courses. You can go to school for what? From school and residency and all that can be 12 years. 12 years of nonstop study and practice, okay? Just for being a specific kind of doctor with modern medicine, okay? And the all-knowingness is a lot bigger than that. A lot bigger. So, when people say just write a book, guys, where do I start? What do you want me to talk about? Because it's a big place. It's a big place. So what are your major concerns? Okay, I'm going to put in 3D, 4D, 5D, try to break that down. I'm just going to put a little excerpt at the front about how I died, because to me that's the least important part of this story. But I will give it to people because there's, I think, a morbid curiosity about it. It's not exciting, but I'll throw it in there, probably in a preface or a forward version. And I'm going to lay down how the whole creation of this thing works, including Satan, Lucifer, angels, all that stuff. I'm going to put that in another chapter. But I don't know what to do after that. I need some big ideas for some chapters that I can put in this original book. I'd like to have somewhere between 20 and 30 of them. And then what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll write a separate book for each chapter. So it'll be like an introduction to an area. And then I will go back and write a book just really breaking it down to the nitty-gritty. But I don't want to do this on just stuff that I can answer with one sentence. I need your big points. How can I help you the best? What is something I can expound on that's not what I just said, that will help you the best, that will answer the questions the best. What do you keep going back to? Where are you struggling? Oh, I think I'm going to try to do the time. I'll do time/now, because I think I could make that into a book and maybe help a lot of people. So I've got creation, 3, 4, 5D, and time versus now time. The illusion of time, space versus now time. So give me about 17 other big areas that I can do a chapter on, and then a book following that will really help you. Okay? All right? And, yeah, I'm not going to talk about, I'll talk about aliens if you want me to, but I'm not going to go real heavy into the 4D alien people, but I will break down aliens and do a chapter on that. There are lots of people that can tell you lots of different kinds of aliens. And guys, there are, okay, how many different kinds of plants, animals are on the planet? Just this planet. Okay? Well, there's a lot more different kinds of aliens. And I'll give you a heads up. Most aliens on the planet think it's hilarious that you guys call them aliens, since really they have been here longer on the planet than the modern day human has. So they find that hilarious. Just saying. Also, I want y'all to know that I'm not going to get into a debate with anybody. Okay? I'm not going to get into an argument with any channeler, any spiritual leader of any kind. Any kind. Because from my perspective of infinite possibilities, all of those people are right. You are right. Always. Always. Everything's right. It's just about your choice and different perspectives and different games that are being played. Nobody's better than anybody else. Nobody's truly good or bad. I use those terms for you, not for me. Oh, how about that? Do you want a chapter on, is there really such a thing as good or bad? You want that? Or have you guys figured that out? That's kind of very perspective. I don't know. That might be a short chapter, not long enough for a book. I don't know. I don't think I could stretch that one. Could maybe do a chapter, but I don't think I could do a book on it, because it seems pretty basic to me. So, yeah, I'm not going to get into a debate with anybody. You're not going to get me arguing with anybody, because from their perspective, they are absolutely right. From my perspective, I am absolutely right. So if you come on and you say, okay, well, I follow this spiritual path, or that channeler, or this angel, what I'm going to say is more power to you. Go. Good job. Take off. Enjoy. Have fun. Great fun out there in all the areas. Experiences beyond experiences that will be phenomenal. But I'm not going where they're going. I'm not doing that. And all I'm trying to do, guys, is I am telling you, let's go back to our Kansas analogy. I am going from Kansas to Alaska. I have been to Alaska, and I've been everywhere else. And I prefer Alaska. And since I've already been there, I know a really good way of getting there. I've got a really good route to get there. So if you want to follow me, or if you want to listen to my directions on how to get from Kansas to Alaska, then listen to the videos. That's why I said you really need to be honest with yourself. Because if it feels bad listening to me, you're probably not wanting to go to Alaska. So don't listen to me. Either go into yourself and just go where you're supposed to go, or listen to other people that make you feel good. It's that simple, guys. There's entirely too much argument by humans that there's only one way of doing things. Which, as I've said in other videos, it's crazy. It's just crazy. It's crazy talk. Nobody is the same, ever. You know that. Nothing on this planet is the same. You know that. So what makes you think that we're all supposed to have the same experience and get from point here to point there? And there's only one way of doing it. You know that's not true. You know it's not true. You've got to know it's not true. Okay? So don't try to, and most of the people, the spirit leaders, except for the monotheistic people, and they can be really, really bossy. That's got to be done this way, and this is the only way. Other than that, most of the spiritual teaching people that I really, you know me, I haven't listened to a bunch of them, but, I feel that they are giving you what they think is another really good way of giving directions to different places. And some of them may be a little bossy, but just don't listen to that. If it feels like, yeah, that's where you want to go, then just don't listen to the bossy aspect of it. And maybe, just maybe, you've got a whole new route. And if you find a whole new route, then by all means start making videos and tell people your route. Tell them what you're doing. Okay? Because that's the cool thing. Eventually, whenever you get over to 5D and above, you're going to start merging with everybody and you're going to see their experiences. And it's not a scary thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's like having, this says, 2 heads are better than one. It's like having infinite number of heads all at one. I mean, it's fantastic. Fantastic. And since you can do that, does it make any sense that they would be the same? Of course not. You want to know when you merge, okay, what'd you do? What'd you do? How cool is that? What'd you do? That's what you're going to do. Okay? So, I'm not sure what I'm going to call this video. Anyway, I'll figure it out. And, I think that's enough. Okay? Alright. Huge hugs. You know I love you guys so much. I'm going to go get in the lake. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.